So welcome everybody to another episode of the Brewmasters.Club cast. Here is what you have to look forward to in tonight's episode.
Ross loves the porgs.
Yeah. Alarm talk. Just realizing that I look more and more like I'm the leader of the free folk.
Yeah, you do.
Ryan's gonna have quite the semi for it. Red guy. Not Raiden, but the red guy. Serpent
Darth
something.
Oh wait, wrong.
Darth Maul.
Wrong storyline.
No, it was
What? Oh, I can hear you. Close your mouth, baby birds. I'll feed you. It's
well,
but besides that,
you know what they say, Laketown, the city that always sleeps.
I had lost a lot because I bought some potions and filled those up because I didn't have the net to catch the fairies to put those in the bottle. So,
Look, man, we all had crazy weekends, bro. I get it. No, I was just gonna say I too had a similar experience. You guys both got him, and Donnie hogged his, so I didn't get to play it. No, just like when we were kids. Thanks, bro.
so last man, no. In perspective though, you did get to relive your childhood. So
Okay, exactly.
true. Yeah, I mean that's still accurate. Nostalgia. Yeah, that's what Powers is. Micro SUB. You just plug SUB USB. All right, way to go, lipstick on a pig. Go
The
ahead.
same exact face that a Target employee gives when you try and return something.
They just accept it unwillingly.
He does have I dropped my hot dog at a sporting event type of look.
Yes, he does. Right now he's thinking, should I pay back up or are they going to give me a refund?
5-second rule.
There's mustard everywhere.
Oh, God. All right, let's continue on. So there she is.
No, that's a Subway. That's a Subway worker is not using gloves. Look right there.
Oh, God.
He just ordered a sub, and they're not wearing any gloves, and you just saw them use a telephone. He's still now. It's also giving me like a tone of where he just tendered change at a Subway, and he's still not wearing gloves.
So Luke's face at a minute 1 second is that he's seen the man make his sub after handling change.
And like a gift card or two.
Oh, gross. Here's a receipt, and the guy clearly has just filthy. And all you got was this stupid T-shirt that says "I killed Han Solo."
Dude.
Sorry.
This is a restricted area. Is this a drill or something? Negative. Fine by me. I hate drills. Ah! You crazy mother.
Welcome to the official podcast of the Brewmasters.Club, craft brews and geek news. Sit back, pour yourself a pint, and let's get into it. Now here's the founder of the Brewmasters.Club and your host, Donnie Gallagher.
Good evening, craft beer fans. My name is Donnie, and this is the official podcast of the Brewmasters.Club here. This is called Craft Brews and Geek News. I am joined this evening by my good friend, Mr. Handsome Lousman. How you doing?
Yeah, doing good, man.
Good deal.
Just realizing that I look more and more like I'm the leader of the free folk.
Yeah, you do. You've got the red beard and all, and there with a hearty chuckle, there's Mr. Brood Boy 813, Raga himself. How are you this evening, sir?
Great, last man. Will you follow Jon Snow everywhere he goes?
Jon Snow.
Snow.
I will follow him.
Jon Snow. All right. Well, we are a local podcast here talking about national stories, local flavors, and our favorite geeky nuggets of pop culture. We had a packed show this evening, so much so that we had to squeeze in our other member, DT Merch, Mr. Dane, as fast as he possibly could as he was holding a baby. So he gave us some thoughts for what we're going to get into tonight, just so you can kind of run it down with us. We're going to talk about some beer. We've got some interesting beer stories that are happening, both affecting the team and of course what we're drinking, what we've been drinking. We have some great stories there, and then we're going to get into the SNES Classic, which came out last week, as well as the new Star Wars The Last Jedi trailer that dropped on Monday of this week, so literally like 3 days ago. Boys, it sounds exciting. Who's freaking stoked? Because count me in.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm super stoked.
All right.
I'm gonna need a little more enthusiasm from you, Laus.
Hiya! right? And then okay, whatever. All right. So Red Wild People aside, do you want to start us off tonight? Do you have a interesting new flavor or something that you want to talk about that you brought this evening? Because I've got a few to discuss.
I do. I know literally nothing about this beer, but I suppose I can just go ahead and show it because I have a feeling Ryan's going to have quite the semi for it. I have an Imperial Saison, which is a Mortal Kombat Imperial Saison, which has Raiden on the bottle. They have a different flavor for all the different pals on Mortal Kombat.
Where'd you find that? I saw a post on that today. Where'd you find that at?
I found this randomly at a Total Wine in Brandon. I can't figure out who makes it. I just saw Raiden and thought, it doesn't even have a different label. It's just got the one with Raiden on it. It looks pretty cool.
Well, how does it taste? What kind of are you liking the Saison? Because I told you the one I like is Sriracha Ace. Fantastic beer, but I want to know how Mr. Raiden's tastes. Did they have like everybody? Luke Cage, and they had Scorpion, Sub-Zero. They had everybody.
Yes. So this is a bomber. To those of you who can't see, but they did have bombers, and I only saw 2 other ones. I believe they had Red Guy, not Raiden, but the Red Guy, Serpent,
Darth
something.
Oh wait, wrong.
Darth Maul.
The wrong storyline.
No, it was
Johnny Fists.
Whatever.
Scorpion.
Thank you. Yes, that was it.
Scorpion was the yellow one.
They had him. But and that was an Imperial Stout, and I was like, no, thank you. Pretty good though. Ooh, it was good. Yeah, they mentioned the word electrifying on the taste of how it's supposed to taste in the bottle. It's quite shocking. I like it.
It's quite shocking. Is it abrasive or is it like?
It's very. Actually, it is slightly abrasive right up front, but then it smooths out real quick. So it's good. I should get some more for you guys.
Why did you decide to get this one?
I totally was a label whore and decided to just pick it based on the label. Could have been horrible, and I would not have known.
Actually, it's got pretty good reviews on Rate Beer and a Beer Advocate and Untapped actually.
And I believe it's an 8%er, so maybe we get the job done. Oh
yeah, the label does look pretty sweet though. He's got the lightning coming out all around him.
Oh yeah, dude, that's great. I'll follow this beer. I'm not going to do any more then.
I want to cue this one up, and then I want you to talk about what you have, because like I said, I have another beer. But first, I want to introduce Ryan's. This is what I'm drinking, what I'm going to drink for this popular segment. Ryan's Sloppy Redhead.
Yes, the Sloppy Redhead.
So before you kind of explain again the pain and the suffering that went into it, this is your 3rd or 4th batch. What is it?
For the Sloppy Redhead, I've done 3.
3. So you think this is your best batch?
So I think it finished well. It's definitely more full-bodied, more full flavor, but I'm not sure. In the beginning, it was almost too hoppy, to where you could it was like you're eating hops. But I think as it toned down and came together more, I think it became a little bit more full flavored rather than just hitting you in the teeth with hops.
It is very hoppy, I'll tell you that much. Like it is a stronger, for like a red, it's very strong in terms of hop flavor. It's very piney. There's a bite to it. It's not bad. It's still a very drinkable beer, but yeah, I do like.
That's what I was looking for, though. I was looking for a piney, in-your-face hop red beer. I love hops. I think I love red beers. I figured why not bring the two together, but that's what I was looking for. But I think I overdid it with the dry hopping. That's what really kind of kicked that full flavored, in my opinion.
Now, all right. Well, go ahead and talk about what you brought then, or what you're drinking on, and let me get my second here.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I have here, saw this last night and figured why not? Dogfish Head Palo Santo Marron. Hopefully I said that correctly. It's a wood aged brown ale. On the front here, it says aged in a handmade Palo Santo tanks. This is unfiltered, unfettered brown ale. It is an unprecedented blend of roasty vanilla and caramel complexities. It comes in at 12%. Had no idea when I bought it that it came in at 12%. I didn't even check that. I was like, oh, this just looks good. But it's fantastic. Interested. Yes, 12%. And it's so seductive. Like, you don't even realize that it's 12%. One thing about Dogfish Head is that they are very good of having beers that are high in alcohol but are very seductive. You don't even realize it. And this one is just fantastic. You get all those notes of the vanilla. You get all those notes from the wood, from the Palo Santo wood that they use to age this. And it's just a fantastic beer. and it's got a good brown head whenever you pour it into a glass, but I'm drinking out of the bottle since I'm outside.
See, Nick, I don't think you caught that, but that's what Sean was drinking at Ron's party at Kins's house. I had a sip of it. I tried it. I wasn't as impressed, Ryan. I didn't get any vanilla. I got a lot of espresso and woody malt. Really? I didn't get a lot of vanilla. Not even on the finish.
Before that?
High Lies. I was drinking High Lies all day. So
probably why.
Yeah. Could have been.
So that could be why it probably blew your palate a little bit with the citrus notes. I mean,
I drank so many. I was like, I couldn't even drink another IPA. I was like, okay, I gotta stop.
Yeah. That's one thing with drinking craft beers and having different varieties to choose from. Is you always got to start light to dark, but when you have an IPA, it can really blow your palate for when you get to the more efficient and flavored type beers, like where you want to pick up the notes of the wood, where you want to pick up the notes of the caramel and the vanilla can really affect that, and you know that, and so that could have been it if you were drinking that all day. But I'm impressed, and like I said, it's a brown ale, but it's got almost like a porter kind of finish to it too. So it's very smooth. It's not choppy like a brown ale. So
awesome. Anything else on that?
No, kudos to Dogfish Head. I don't know how often it comes out, but I'll be looking forward every time I do.
That's awesome. So, Mr. Lossman, I don't know if you saw that in the image there as to what I was doing over here. There is a certain little guy here helping me out the podcast today. It is, of course, our SYNEK system, and I wanted to test the portability of the system as I enjoyed my beer that I brought from the Lakeland Brewery. I've had this growler in there since, when did we go? It was 2 weeks ago, over 2 weeks ago. This, first off, little selfless plug. The SYNEK system, you simply unplug it, you throw it in the back of your tailgate. I've got, that beer is 34 degrees cold and has been the whole time. I haven't opened the cooler side of it. I just turned my CO2 on, so I got some nice flow out of it. And man, I am getting a delicious tasting beer. Now, what is this beer that you guys are asking me for? What? Oh, I can hear you. Close your mouths, baby birds. I'll feed you. It's the Lipstick on a Pig, basil, strawberry, black pepper, and I love it. I got it from the Lakeland Brewing Company, of course. Oh, dude. I remember this is the one that I gave you the bottle of when you went to go meet Tim. This was the basil.
Yes.
This was the basil and strawberry. Okay. It's got
loved it.
Such an aroma to it that is it's a beautiful aroma. It makes it a perfect bouquet, and then you sip it, right? And you're like expecting this spice. And Laos, I think it might even be better now that I've actually had it on CO2 and have it just be cold for a minute.
Really? Huh.
Even more so than when we were drinking it there. It has like it's got the fruit flavor, but it leaves your mouth almost like you just had a piece of spearmint gum, but like in a good way, like not in a bad way. It's got the basil kind of notes to it, but man, it's a beautiful beer. It's comes about 7% alcohol. It's got subtle sweetness, a little bit of a pinkish hue to it almost. It comes out like a golden haze. It's mildly spicy. Low bitterness and very high flavor. It's got American ale yeast, so it's just a nice drinkable beer with a slightly like tart finish. But man, so impressed. Like I think this may be my 2017 beer of the year. Like I really love it.
Really,
I love it. I've loved it for a while, and now that I can set it right here next to the recording studio and just pour a pint or two, I think that's amazing. I don't know how much of this I have left because I don't want to open the SYNEK just yet, but it poured me a whole glass right now, and we'll see how many more it's got. So cheers to the Lakeland Brewing Company.
Yeah, cheers. That's like one of the biggest fears too. Like, my keg blew with the sloppy redhead the other day, and I had no idea how much I had left. But I evidently didn't have a lot because I kept giving it away and people were coming over and drinking it. And then I gave you a 64-ounce growler. It went so quick. And then I went to go pour myself a glass and it was like, I'm like, oh no.
They have.
I was like,
yeah,
maybe it's not coming out. Maybe I need to fill more CO2 in there. So I cranked it up. It's like shot everywhere. I was like, oh shit.
They have sensors you can put on it to measure either how many ounces you pour or the weight of the keg, and then it can tell you how much is left in it.
Yeah, I'm not that fancy.
Well, you can. I'm just saying you can.
I'll just lift it up, and I just didn't lift it.
Yeah, all right. Well, either way, Lipstick on a Pig, amazing. Ryan, I'm sorry that you blew your keg.
Blew my keg. Oops. Dropped my phone, too.
That's all right. So speaking of the Lakeland Brewery, I hope that everybody tuned in for our bonus live episode that was released last Friday. Donnie and Laos toured around Lakeland, and we went to a couple of different breweries and had an amazing experience. We did the full-fledged pairing at the Lakeland Brewery, where we found out that if you drink lipstick on a pig and you eat a piece of cheese, it tastes like a caprese salad. That is a 100% legit fact. I even had my wife try it. She seconds it. That's exactly what it tastes like. So amazing. What else did you enjoy there, Laos, at the brewery?
The Lakeland Brewing Company. Well, of course, got a shout out to my 863 sheets, my absolute go-to. Other than that, yeah, it was neat having the whole schmear in terms of having that tasting with you, Donnie. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, Ryan, you would have loved it. We had, so it was an oak aged porter that we had with like some sausage and some spicy food. Then we had some creamy beer with some cream cheese. It was really just like a phenomenal thing. Listen to the episode, because we go through the whole range. I used Laos as my guinea pig, and he basically like tried, we tried to find flavors that balance, contrasted, and just did a compliment. So just did a great job of supporting each other, whether it be food and beer or the wrong way to do it, or like an apple and an IPA. I mean, it was really just, it was nuts, but we had a great time with it. And after we left the Lakeland Brewery, we went to Brew Hub, and we got a full facility tour by the trained Cicerone Haley that was working there. So check that episode out. It's just simply labeled one of our live episodes, and we go on a beercation, and we just kind of Ubered around and really enjoyed ourselves. So that's where I got this growler of lipstick on a pig, and I'm really surprised that it's still pouring and still tastes amazing. But that's what it does when you have CO2. And Ryan, you can speak to that. When you're forced carbonating, it works really well.
This is true. Yeah, it was a great time.
Well, yeah. Any other final thoughts to close that out?
I highly recommend everyone come on out to sleepy old Laketown.
Sleepy old Laketown.
Spend the night at the houseman's house.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. The couch is wonderful there. So it's a bit lumpy, bit lumpy.
Well,
but besides that,
you know what they say, Laketown, the city that always sleeps. It's always.
That's true.
It's very small.
It's Swan good place.
You are the worst.
Yeah, you'll have to listen to the episode for that little fun one. All right, moving on. So as I said, for the presence of time, or the acknowledgement of time, and how we've already moved through half this episode, we have to keep moving on. So we will go on to our geek news and craft break. Geek news, drink it in, send it on back. We're going to talk about it right now. A lot has happened in the last 2 weeks. So luckily we have a resident here that can talk to us with great experience and decades of previous work history with this next article. But first, just want to let you guys know a little update on the Mario Odyssey. They are kicking off a PR and play tour, heading off in Los Angeles first at Universal City Walk on October 10th, which is 2 days ago, and they are culminating in New York City, so all the way on the other side of the country on the 26th of October. That is basically driving on a big old RV that has a bunch of PlayStations inside, play areas inside, where you can actually test drive the Mario Odyssey game before it's available on shelves at your local retailer on October 29th, so this month. Fantastic. I'm super stoked for it. I'm done watching people play it in trailers and stuff, because I don't want to ruin the whole game, and it definitely will, because every little area is going to be shown. But that's the good thing about a Mario game. Just like other games that Nintendo creates, you get to explore, you get to be creative, and kind of find your way. So, Segue King, just talking about other games that we may have or may not have been very familiar with. The NES Classic, Super NES Classic, came out last week, and Ryan and myself both got one. And Laos, you got to play one, at least. That's good.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But the classic Super Nintendo is arguably, Super Nintendo was one of my favorite systems. Ryan, I think you as well?
My absolute favorite, I would say. I played more games on that system than I could ever remember versus any.
Yep, and it came out with a couple pretty good games actually on it too, which the NES did as well. They weren't as great as I thought they were going to be. They weren't my favorite, but the ones on the Super Nintendo were. They also had Star Fox 2, which, as you guys know, we're a huge fan of. We want to throw a Guinness World Record party for the guys that created it for the longest pre-release ever, 3 years. So look that up. That is on change.org. Please give us a shout and give give us support there if you can. But Ryan, you've now had over a week to play this system. Me and you have been texting, we've been chatting, we've been playing around with this different games here. I know that we only have enough time to focus on one or two. I know that you've been playing one very much heavily, so if you want to give us your thoughts on what it is, take a step back into Nostalgia Town now that you are playing with power.
First off, thank you. All credit goes to Donnie on this one, because without him and getting all of the firsthand notifications, none of this would have been possible. But and coming through, appreciate that. But I have been so in love with playing. I dare I say, with the past. Like, I've been playing Street Fighter, I've been playing Mario World, I've been playing Super Mario Kart. My girls, they've been loving it. They want to play the fighting game, as Cora says, and Cora has legit kicked my ass in Street Fighter at least a handful of times. And every time I kick her butt, she looks at me and she's like, "Daddy, no, I want to win." And I'm like, "No, you have to earn it." And then she kicks my butt, and she actually earns it. But the one game that I've been playing the most, it has been Zelda: Legend of Link to the Past. It's my all-time favorite game, and I can still remember the day at the counter when I went to Target. At like 5 or 6 years old, whatever it was, the guy at the counter told my mom this was the hardest game. He'll never finish it. And she looked at me. She's like, "You sure you want this?" I was like, "Yes." And I was so determined. I played it for hours and hours and hours on those old styrofoam beanbag chairs, and my little den that I had built into the laundry room. I can still remember it to this day. And playing it, and Donnie, you and I, we were on the phone, we were talking, and we were trying to figure out where each other was in that one setup, where you had those little the little squirmy little guys with the shells. I forget what they're called. We had to kind of swat them, and they bounce you all over the place. But just so many memories coming back, and just knowing where everything was, but still like relearning how to do it. It was just incredible, and it still is. We're in the dark world now, so we're finding things there. And I still don't have my flippers, though. I'm kind of pissed about that. Donnie, you got those the first night, I think, or second night. So
yeah, well, I remember the path to flippers, but that's all. But you had to have like a shitload of coins. That's all I remember. Rupees.
Yeah, I did. I had like 999 rupees. He's like, "How the fuck did you get so many rupees?" I was like, I don't know. I forget. I think I found
a lot of bushes.
And then I had a lot of bushes. Yes, and then I had I had lost a lot because I bought some potions and filled those up because I didn't have the net to catch the fairies to put those in the bottle. So
look, man, we all had crazy weekends, bro. I get it.
No, that's good, Ryan. No, I love the fact that you're just gushing about it, because that's what it is, man. And that's what this whole nostalgia kick is. They're just trying to get you back. And it was a challenge, and it was a fight to get, but that's the reason that you get it, because now that we're adults and we have a little bit of disposable income to spend $80 on one of these little things, we do it, and it brings you right back, and now you can share that with your kids. So I had a very similar experience to you.
Yeah,
I really did. I loved Link. I love Zelda. I always have, and that's why I love Breath of the Wild so much, because even that being a brand new game still has that nostalgia kick. But I played Star Fox 2 a lot. I played Contra and Metroid. All that stuff. It's such a cool walk down memory lane. I wish I could get 1,000 more games on it. Which maybe there's a way to do that. I heard they did that with the classic, but
no, I was just gonna say I too had a similar experience. You guys both got him, and Donnie hogged his, so I didn't get to play it. No, just like when we were kids. Thanks, bro.
So Last Man, no, in perspective though, you did get to relive your childhood. So
okay, exactly.
True. Yeah, that's still accurate. Nostalgia, right? That was the goal.
Yeah,
Donnie's goal was to give you nostalgia, and he was accurate in doing so.
We're one fire truck Power Wheels away from just straight up doing it all over again.
I knew you were going to the fire truck, but you still can't drive. You can't drive. The fire truck driving is my job. You're the gunner.
I do the gun. I shoot the gun. That's why.
Yes, you shoot the gun. You shoot the gun. I drive. That's what happens.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about right now.
That's talk about nostalgia.
I did want to not pass up. We haven't mentioned Donkey Kong Country. That's actually Ashley's favorite game, and it ties into the nostalgia of her late stepmother that passed away a couple years ago. So she's not played that yet. I found this neat little article, and it reminded me of all the cheat codes and stuff like that. I'm not going to go through all of them, but one cheat code that I never forgot is when you load Donkey Kong Country, and right when the old guy starts playing that little record recording, that he's spinning around.
That's Cranky Kong.
Oh, okay. When Cranky Kong keeps spinning that wheel, you press it down Y, down Y, and when you do that, it takes you to the realm where you can just, all four of the little icons, the rhino, the ostrich,
it's in the gator, and
the frog, and you can jump up. You get all three of the coins. It takes you to the level where you can just get all those little coins and stuff, and get all those 1-ups. The only problem I had was after getting like 19 or 20 1-ups, I couldn't save it. I had to hit reset. Now I forget how to get out of that, and I was pressing all these buttons.
You just locked in a secret.
You couldn't go through the caves. So somewhere in the loading of this SNES Classic with all these cheat codes, and this one, my favorite one, it wouldn't let me save it. So I walked out. I had to reset, and then I only had like 2 credits. So
I thought you pushed like a start select combination. It takes you back out.
The programmers.
I was pressing everything, bro. I'm like, start select, R2, 1, 2, whatever, X, Y, Z. And then I was like going to the cave side, going to the other cave side. I was jumping up and down. I couldn't do anything.
The guys who made this one were just like, hey, you wanted a beer so bad, jackass, and you're an adult. Figure it out.
Now you're locked in the brewery. Good luck.
Yeah,
we pretty much, man.
We know you're an adult. You're the only one who could afford this. Deal with it, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was fun, and Ashley had fun doing that. The girls had fun getting all the coins. It was like ding, 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 kind of thing. So there is a link at usgamer.net if you go there. There's cheat codes for Kirby. I mean, all the original cheat codes are still in effect, and it even has the down Y, down Y for Donkey Kong Country. But man, there's so much stuff to do that I haven't even began to fully grasp how much I can actually do with it.
There's not enough time. There's really not enough time to do everything. And
no.
And there is a way to hack it, just like they've hacked the NES Classic, where you can put a lot more games than originally came with it. But maybe one day we'll get there. Maybe we'll keep it just pristine, just to keep walking down memory lane, because it is awesome. I saw unrelated. Go ahead, Ryan, and then I'll pass on to this one. We'll move on to the last story.
I was just gonna say there's 2 games I wish that would have been on there that didn't make it, and that was the Ninja Turtles.
Turtles in Time.
So yep, and
no TMNT. Mm-mm.
They put Mega Man on there. They could have put Ninja Turtles on there too. Let's be honest.
Could have.
Wait, make that 3 games. Batman Forever, or Batman Returns, I think it was. The Batman game, I used to play that all the time. We had to kill the little clowns and go after the Penguin, and Catwoman's in it too.
I didn't play that one, but Aladdin is on my list.
Oh, it's of Aladdin. I forgot about Aladdin. Holy shit. I used to play Aladdin for hours.
Me too.
Flying on that carpet was the best thing ever. But Ken Griffey Jr. Home Run Derby.
Never played that one. Man. No, I don't think I played that one.
You've got to have Ken Griffey Jr.'s on there. And they didn't. They don't have one sports game. So hopefully there's an expansion pack. They didn't build an Ethernet port, so I don't know how we're going to download it. I don't know if that's going to like plug in somewhere or what.
Well, you just plug it. It's got a micro USB. You just plug it directly into your computer.
Great. That's true. Yeah, good point. Okay.
That's what powers is micro USB. You just plug SUB USB. All right, way to go, lipstick on a pig. You just plug it right in. You can download everything you want. All right.
Excellent.
Oh, there could have been some good Star Wars games on there, because they had a lot of good Star Wars games for SNES.
Yeah.
I think it was Empire Strikes Back was one. I know that, but Empire Strikes Back was because the Tauntauns were in it, and you started out in the cold on Hoth. Yep. Remember that?
Fighting some swamps.
Speaking of Star Wars,
for a download though, by the way, I would $1 a game I'd pay.
Well, they're going to charge you $7 to $19, so good luck with your $1 a game. I hope Nintendo's listening.
I'll start slowly building my repertoire of games.
I hope their marketing department is paying attention.
Gotta have Mario Paint on there too. I used to play that game, fucking Fly Swatter, for hours.
Mario Paint. All right, man. Yeah. Well, we are going to move on. We're going to go on to the next segment here, What we're doing, folks at home, is we are going through the trailer for the new Jedi. We're going through the trailer for The Last Jedi. This is the brand new Star Wars movie that's coming out on December 15th. The thrice of us, plus one Christian Roberts, have already reserved our tickets to go and see the movie. We will be there on the opening weekend to support not only Star Wars, but our geekdom and fandom for the movie. And we have a lot to talk about, guys. Are you excited?
Yes.
Beyond excited.
First
Absolutely.
off, did the trailer blow your mind? Because it did for me in a number of ways. I loved the first trailer that we had. Fantastic. It was great. It didn't give us a lot, and it was, in this way, it was ages ago at this point. It was February, I think.
It blew mine because I always don't know what's going on anyway. So I was intrigued.
Yeah.
Way to stay.
All right. Dan only has like 5 minutes, so we were just getting the Star Wars stuff out because he really wants to talk about that. When he has to go, we're going to restart the show, and we'll just edit this in later.
Cool. Sounds good.
Have fun, Donnie.
Continue.
Yeah. All right, so go ahead, Dan.
I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
So the trailer was awesome. Typical Star Wars fashion. They kind of broke it down to where you were guessing everything, trying to figure out what that meant, what this meant, all that good stuff. So I really did enjoy the trailer as a whole. There's all these crazy theories going around, and one that you've probably heard it, but I think that Rey is Palpatine's daughter for some crazy reason. I think Rey is going to the dark side, and Kylo is possibly moving back to the good side.
So are they going together? Like, is that what the statement is, where he had the outreach hand?
They're crisscrossing? You're saying they're crisscrossing?
Yeah, I think either one, they're crisscrossing, or they are coming together in a sense. But if they were to come together, I don't know which side they're going to be fighting for.
I have a similar slew of theories and ideas on that as well. I've got two schools of thought on that. Ryan, are you feeling the same way, or what are you thinking?
I don't feel the same way. Obviously, I'm not as well versed as you guys in the matter, but I don't think Kylo Ren is going to change his ways from the dark side.
It looked like he had a good shot at taking out Leia, and he decided not to.
Well, we don't know if he decided
we don't know.
not
We don't
to
know.
yet.
Right?
Yeah,
We don't know.
We don't know. He did have that emotional moment where he was, torn, and he wasn't wearing his helmet. So, like, in the what's his TIE fighter? Thank you. So, like, he wasn't wearing his helmet, which could play into the whole change thing, and that gives you like that whole emotional scene that everybody's been kind of talking about, where he was struck with, a decision.
You see his helmet destroyed in the teaser trailer that we got like in February, and then you see him destroy it physically in the elevator. But to Dane's point, they showed so much without showing anything at all. I mean, they literally left it up to Tashi Station Speculation Central Station. If you guys remember that little
I didn't
segment.
see him destroy his helmet. I thought he was just pissed.
No, he had the helmet in his hand. I think what it is, that progression is, and we can go about this in more detail later, but that progression, I think, is him realizing that he's not chasing Darth Vader. He's becoming his own villain or his own self, and so he's just, fuck the mask. I don't need it.
You know who I am. Forget it.
Yeah.
But so why do we think Rey is going to go to the dark side? Just with her power and like feeding into it?
I think it all boils down to who she's related to, and I think she's related to a baddie. Who is Luke talking about when he's talking about this power he's seen before? And the power that he sees in Rey is what he's actually scared of.
Yeah.
So he's not. So Rey is not Luke's daughter? I thought it was. I thought
she could be.
Ryan, so there's a lot of talk about who her parents are. Luke Skywalker is, at this point, he's the lowest probability. There's new rumors or new merit to, like what Dane said, where there's someone that was very powerful is who her parents are, but it wouldn't be Luke.
I think they could. I think Rey and Kylo could be related, could be brother sister. I think that's a possibility. But as far as them splitting, I'm not sure how that goes about. I also
Leia know that though, or unless they're like half.
Yeah, unless they're hiding it. I don't know. But
yeah,
when Luke says he's seen this power before, is he the one who taught Kylo in the beginning, and then Kylo got pushed to the dark side? That could have happened as well.
Yeah. So
I'm really interested to see who Luke's talking about in those two instances, who he knew before. And
wasn't that confirmed already? No?
Nothing in this trailer has been confirmed.
No, it wasn't. I thought Kylo Ren did train with under Luke when he had that.
Yeah, when he had the.
Okay, so he did.
So when he had the school, he trained under Luke, and that has been confirmed. What hasn't been confirmed is if Rey was at that school or was going to go to that school before Luke or Snoke dropped her off on Jakku. We don't know who got her or left her there on the planet, the desert planet, but I'm thinking that if this was really all part of Luke's grand plan, he knew something was coming. He ditched Rey, hid her somewhere safe, and then watched his temple, crumble to the ground at the hands of Kylo. I think that's an option.
And then obviously we see Snoke. I believe that's Snoke talking in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And I think when you see Rey getting blown back by whatever forces blown her back, I think that's Snoke. So I think eventually she'll be in front of him doing whatever. Is she trying to fight him, or is he mad at her for not going through the plan correctly? Who knows?
Really, really strenuous yoga. That's what that is.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely, that's the first time you see him use the Force too. Like, you've been told that he was sensitive to it, but you don't see him ever doing anything. So he's almost got her like broken in half and hitting her hard.
So the little
I don't know.
Flying with Chewbacca? What's going on with that?
The Porg? Who else loves the Porgs?
Yeah. Alarm talk?
Yeah.
There's so much more to
dogs too.
Yeah, the ice foxes or whatever they are. Yeah, they're cool. That planet.
Wolves, yeah.
So that planet's called Crate, and it's basically like a Hoth, right? And that's where you see the big walkers come through in the beginning of it, and that's where that base is, and that's where Leia is. And clearly, she's kind of bundled up, so you can see the ice piece. They run inside, and I think that's when those red busted ass speeders come and try to start fighting the walkers, which are nuts.
Yeah, the new walkers, the new ones.
Yeah, those are insane.
Yeah, I think that's probably all I got.
Okay. Well, I've got.
Thing I'll throw in is it's Palpatine's daughter, and you guys can do what you want with that.
All right. Well, thanks, Dane and Baby. We appreciate you guys contributing your knowledge there, and we'll take it from here. But you guys have a good night.
All right, gentlemen. Take care.
All right, thanks, Dane.
All right.
Well, let's jump right into it as we spend the next roughly around 15 minutes here breaking down this trailer. It's a 2-minute trailer that we're going to expand over 15 minutes here. Laos, I hope you got your Star Wars goggles on because I've got some things to say.
Yep.
Good. I'm glad you got them on. I don't know why you need goggles, but that's fine. Whatever. First off, the scene opens, and of course, that's our good buddy, Mr. Kylo Ren, I believe his name is, and if you look over his right shoulder, over his left shoulder, you see the classic ATSTs. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
You guys see the classic ones, Lost Man?
Yes.
Because what I think is interesting about that is that you don't see those as the trailer unwinds. As the trailer unwinds, you see these beautiful new gargantuan ones, which I have no idea why these are any different. Why did they make them like this?
They have shoulder cannons.
I see that, and they've got some plating in the front here, but I'm not sure why they actually. Why do they have the what is the club foot?
It looks like the plating that you're talking about is serrated to potentially cut cables. Just saying.
Ah, that's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that guy.
Fourth one down is a traditional AT-AT.
Oh, look at that. The snipey.
And there's also
there you go. But man,
the seventh one down as well. Yeah, right about there.
They're tiny. They're tiny compared to the new guys.
All that shit, Laos.
Well, I looked at this for a long time and I couldn't see that either.
They don't have backpack cannons, which I think is what we should start calling those backpack cannons.
Man,
like the cannons. Well, you know what I also noticed too? If you look at this first one that's up here, and I know this is great audio, but essentially the knees on these guys seem to bend backwards, right? Am I incorrect in that?
They have an extra joint.
Right, which again could be. Well, no, these guys still have a joint because they have a joint here, right? They have a joint where their knee should be, and this is where their knee should be, but it bends backwards instead of going forwards, which again, if you're cabling these guys, right, above the fold here where they can protect themselves, then obviously that's for something else or some sort of improved design. So like that.
Like a dog.
Above the fold.
Above the fold. In the background, above the walkers, you can see this spaceship here. Do you think this is the battle station, the battle ship, that the big one, or you think there's a bigger one out there somewhere?
Negative. I think it's just like in Rogue One, that weird triangle-looking thing that folded up, and it was like... When it folded up, it presented more of a broadside to be attacked, so tactically it was a horrible design.
Right. Unless you were all wingies, then it's good. if you're doing all wingy stuff, I don't know. Maybe it's like an aircraft carrier.
It's not though. But yeah, what you think?
I don't know. Gonna keep it moving here. So now you've got, this is again the Planet Crate. Can correct me if I'm wrong or you think differently, Lost Man. So there's again Kylo grabbing his saber. What?
Now is that present or past grabbing the saber? Like that's kind of.
That's current. That's got to be current. Go ahead, Lost.
So those people in the background, who would they be?
They're the
Royal Guards.
Guards. Yeah, the Royal Guards. That's what I was going to point out.
Why,
never mind.
The funny thing about the guards, and again, I didn't even catch this the first time I saw it. The guards, there's behind the scenes video that they made. You can see Adam Driver practicing choreography against the Royal Guards because they have staffs. They had sabers, not sabers. They had like the staffs that were like, they were sabers or electric on both ends. So this could be when he takes up arms against someone else in the presence of the Imperial Guards. But let's keep moving and we'll get into that.
Folks at home, we are literally
going
through with this scene by scene.
We are scene by scene. So we just saw Rey fire up the old saber. There's Act 2. God bless me. So this scene is interesting. She hands him the lightsaber, and you guys, Ryan and Lausman are watching it over the cast here, but the hand is kind of shaky and rigid, like a Tin Man from Alice of or from the Wizard of Oz. Plus he lost his skins. All the skins fell off.
And
maybe he just had a bad hangnail.
He's carrying this weird old timey oil can, and it goes.
Well, he's been on this island by himself. I mean, who's there to help reconstruct the skin?
I'm kidding about the oil can. That's a Wizard of Oz thing.
What I like is the bullet hole here from Jabba's skiff when they were in the desert, and the bullet that hit Luke's hand. You can still see the scorch mark on there. And there's a lot of damage on this thing. Actually, it's not a clean hand. It's pretty pokey though. I don't know how. It's kind of pokey. I don't know. So anyway, she's handing over the lightsaber to Luke. That is a weird face, Luke. So now she's walking into.
That's the same exact face that a Target employee gives when you try and return something.
They just accept it unwillingly.
Well, they got a weird face on them. They're like, nah, this looks used.
This looks used.
Walmart doesn't question anything.
Yeah, I know.
So we get a shot.
Buy stuff at another store and then go take it to Walmart and they'll return it.
I got a story on that, but that's for another day. They focus back on the books again, right? These damn books that they keep showing in the middle of the stupid tree. Something's got to be happening with these books, and I don't know what it is, but apparently she's about to see it. So you guys can't hear this, but she swings her saber, and when she does that, the noise that it makes, you don't have to go back and watch it. She swings it, and it goes womp, 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 womp. As in she plays the first few bars of the Imperial March while she's swinging the saber. So check out the trailer at about the 47-second mark and see if you hear that as well. Again, this is hinting. We talked about this, and I'm going to cut in the piece with Dane, but we talked about this. Does Rey flip to the dark side? Does Kylo flip to the light side? Is there a combination of two? Once we get through this trailer here in about a minute, we'll flip through and kind of talk about our predictions or fan fiction here, but let's keep going.
I mean, before we go any further, who picks up on the womp 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 womp? I mean, like
I did
as a theme, like what you did. I mean, okay, it's incredibly cryptic if you think about it.
Yeah.
To do something like that, not only in a preview but even in a movie scene, because that's going to be in the movie. It's incredibly cryptic.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Personally, all I got was that's like a rather quiet part because they want to accentuate that or whatever. So all I was getting was Star Wars kid from that whole. She's like dancing around on a cliff.
Yeah.
And she's like, whoa! I almost hit the rock. Like, oh boy.
Yep, absolutely. Well, it looks like she did hit the rock a couple times. She hit the rock a couple times. That's why it was kind of curved out. So I don't know, man. It looks like she's done a little damage to that thing. But then you get real spooked. You get spooked, Luke, which is never a good Luke. Not a good look for him. But spooked Luke's like, oh shit. Yeah. Well, it was funny because people made some assimilations to previous, The Force Awakens and whatnot. And essentially, like if you look at now, she has some power, right? And she cracked the rock itself. But if you remember at the end of the Force Awakens, the planet was kind of crumbling, and her and Kylo had this great scene where they're both on one side of the Earth itself as it started to separate. So people are saying, is that part of her power? I don't personally think that's what it is, but it's neat that they showed another rock cracking and then Luke being like, oh shit, what the hell is going on here?
He does have a I dropped my hot dog at a sporting event type of look.
Yes, he does. Right now he's thinking, should I pay back up or are they going to give me a refund?
5-second rule.
There's mustard everywhere.
Oh, God. All right, let's continue on. So there she is playing marbles, and Luke doesn't seem to be playing along at all. So again, we've got spooked Luke with, I don't know what this is. Is this the map in the background, Lost Man?
It looks like a pog. It looks like he was ready to play pogs, and she was ready to play marbles.
You can't say pogs when there's porgs in here. Come on, man. You're going to get the people confused.
They should do a limited release of pog formed porgs.
Porgs? Wait, porg filled. Okay, on a path.
Pork pogs.
It's a pork pog.
Yeah, I still have my
So
pogs. I have all of them, including my slammers, by the way. I should just mention that.
Oh, you
Great
can't
best
skip
of
the slammers. Oh,
I
boy.
got a 3D hologram slammer that's shaped like an hourglass. Beat that, motherfuckers.
Oh, shit. All right. What I like about this is this Luke? Anyone have any doubt this is Luke?
No, there's a metal hand sticking out of the debris.
Hey, a lot of people lose hands. What I'm saying is, if you look at the formation of his fingers show that it's definitely his shooty hand is his metal hand. So that's definitely we'll just call it his robo hand here.
This is a past. This is like a.
Yeah, that's well, we saw this in the Force Awakens. You don't think that was Luke's hand?
They hand out free hands like that all the time.
We saw that in Force Awakens.
Yeah, we saw that in Rey's vision. Remember, he put his robo hand on R2D2's head, which correlates exactly with this picture, and exactly with his hand.
Well, thank God for Netflix, because I need to go watch that shit again.
Wow, it could have been Anakin. You're kind of right, Lausman. I guess it could have been.
Yeesh.
They both got their right hand chopped off. Well, Darth Vader had both hands, so that doesn't really matter. But
choppy chop. Yep. All right. Totally. And they're both R2D2 buddies.
That's true. They are. And we're back to Spook Luke. I don't. Hashtag Spook Luke.
He's so serious.
Yeah,
Look at him. He's like,
He's really like overacting this. I don't know.
No, that's a subway. That's a subway worker is not using gloves. Look right there.
Oh, God.
He just ordered a sub, and they're not wearing any gloves, and you just saw them use a telephone.
Well, the crazy thing is he does say he's not. I mean, I'm not giving you guys the justice of it, but he does say that's a power that I've not been afraid. I was not afraid of, but I am now.
He's still now. It's also giving me like a tone of where he just tendered change at a Subway, and he's still not wearing gloves.
So Luke's face at a minute 1 second is that he's seen the man make his sub after handling change.
And like a gift card or two.
Oh, gross. Here's a receipt, and the guy clearly has just filthy.
I agree.
Ryan, did you have a question for this part?
Yeah, I'm sure facial hair has nothing to do with it, but I am loving the kind of like older Jedis having, the facial hair, like Obi-Wan Kenobi having facial hair, whereas young Luke did not have facial hair. He was very clean shaven. I don't know if there's any like Jedi Force thing that's tied to that, but I just noticed that.
If you do recall from my interview with Mark Hamill himself, he said that I understand because we're beard brothers. So facial hair means that you're awesome and the Jedi and whatever else. But did Qui-Gon have? Yes, Qui-Gon did because it wasn't Liam Neeson, right? It was definitely Qui-Gon Jinn, not Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
very
fancy. They had so it's like older Jedis have facial hair except for Yoda.
Yeah, well, I think they also make these older celebrities look younger without facial hair, but we'll just, that's fine. That's just movie magic.
I don't know. It's nothing relevant to the trailer. I just figured I'd mention it.
So Ryan, this is the scene that you've missed. So this is Kylo in the elevator. His helmet is off, and he's holding it in his hand. But if you notice, this is the first time we see old carbon fibre Band-Aid, which Band-Aid, get on that right now.
I'd wear it.
Yeah.
It's like those
Lightweight.
copper things that you put on your, those copper strips.
Toughest.
You know?
So Ryan, this is what you missed. Bam. So he had the helmet in his hand, clearly not on his head, and he smashes it into the light there. Now, what I didn't notice, I guess, Lost Man, is that it sparked this much in the not Force Awakens, but in the first trailer we got for this, the teaser trailer we got for The Last Jedi, the helmet was crushed and it was smoldering. There was smoke coming off of it. Could smashing your helmet into an elevator wall generate that much electricity? I don't know.
I imagine so, because the wall does not dim at all.
That's true. It's still very bright.
In maintenance, and typically when you smash a helmet through a wall of light, spots, but doesn't seem to be the case here. So they must have some sort of high energy output wall lights,
as they do.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right.
I mean, if he was looking to destroy the helmet, he could have just taken his lightsaber out, put the helmet on the floor, and just cut it in half. That would have done the trick. But
if he does destroy his helmet, I really hope they give him like a carbon fiber fedora. Like they're like, well, you broke the first one, like
just a scarf.
Yeah, but it's got to be like carbon fiber, and it's got to be a fedora. So he's like, well, shit, I'm not gonna do that again. How great!
All right, that'd be fantastic. So Ryan, to your point. This is clearly his TIE here, his TIE fighter coming up to the Rebel fleet, and they are not doing well. They are taking some damage, and he says, kill it, and then does some graviton shit that would make even the most experienced roller coaster rider sick to his tummy. Hops in here. Yeah, this is clearly where Leia is. She knows it, right? That's a face of knowing that something's out there for you.
Yep, because I know what to do.
Carbon fiber Band-Aid, but no helmet, Ryan, to your point.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, this, as you said, probably post-smashing helmets.
Yep. Yeah, it's got to be post-smashing, but but see, what I think just because this scene, and we see him without the carbon fiber on, this has to be when he's healing, right? So if you remember, The Force Awakens takes off 10 minutes before this movie starts. I'm guessing this is a direct retaliation that he hops in a TIE fighter to go on a bloodlust to kill some bitches, right? And that's why he's like still in this healing kind of phase, because he's got the carbon fiber right on his face like that. We're at a minute 18 for the folks following at home here.
What I truly wonder is everything that we've seen so far in this trailer. Does it all happen in sequence? That's what I want.
Absolutely not. There's no way. They've already thrown it out of sequence.
So, like what you just said, this happens 10 minutes after the end of the last movie. Everything that we've seen with Luke and Rey, that all probably happens towards like the beginning after all of this. So this is retaliation, Kylo Ren, if you will. So yeah. I
have no idea. I mean, Lossman, you correct me if I'm wrong if you have different opinions, but this has to be just after, because he's pissed, smashes heli. He's like, I'm done.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. I also want to point out real quickly that the ship that he is piloting does look an awful lot like the Sith Infiltrator, which is the same ship that Darth Maul used, which has the cloaking ability to get super nerdy on it. It looks a heck of a lot like it, which is like long in the bow, TIE fighter in the middle, and then like just sort of Millennium Falcon in the tail, which, I mean, just want to point that out. But yes, no, this looks like a direct, like just an immediate answer to having, your entire space station blown up and all that stuff. So like just gunned down.
And all you got was this stupid T-shirt that says "I killed Han Solo."
Dude,
sorry.
Boy.
But he can't.
I can make that T-shirt at work if you guys want to.
You could. You could. So we are back now at Crate. So this again is on the planet Crate, where you have these blood crystals, which if you look right here, a laser beam just bounced off a crystal and there's a little plume of red. This is the scene where I thought in the beginning here we had watched these guys walk through, right? Same kind of area where the stormtroopers were walking when the ground was red and they were kind of just like like stomping through. Like I think these crystals here resonate exactly with what that scene was, where the Millennium Falcon is kind of just flying through here at a minute 28. There's our buddy.
Chewy.
Little gingivitis going on, but that's all right. We won't hold it against him. We will hold it against this guy, little Porgy. At a minute 33, man, I'm lost. Give me the facts. Are you in on these or are you out on these right now? Yes or no?
That's an ambiguous question, I'm in because they got cool alarm noise making ability. Yeah, they literally almost sound like the alarm from Aliens, which is my favorite alarm ever. I wish I could wake up to it every day.
I hope they make
Ryan.
these into little Sim Sims.
Oh, of course they will, because guess what? They're merchandise. These are the Ewoks of our generation, my friend. So
I will snatch one of those mofos up right away. As a matter of fact, I've got 10 Pokeballs. I'm just gonna throw them at him.
snap. So I just caught this on a good frame here because this is, as we just saw, Poe's X-Wing. So a regular X-Wing, Laos, keep me honest here. These are the third trilogy X-Wings, which they split, right? On either side here.
Typical X-Wings look like they have some sort of timing belt in this area. And for whatever reason, there is some sort of jet with an afterburner. Clearly an afterburner. There's an igniter off to the right-hand side of it at minute 136. That looks crazy.
This is Poe's X-Wing, which I've heard just Fast and Furious style has been modded out and is ready to do some work, which, as you can see, Poe has that look where he's ready to go. And he's just burning people here, just flipping through shit. So I think he's onto something.
To be fair, those fools were running Honda S2000 a week before Race Wars. I mean, come on now. Weird joke. I get it. Cool. That one's deep.
So on to the next one here. We've got Miss Phasma, of course, with the chrominium. I don't know what you're supposed to. I don't know how it is. Yeah, right.
Chromium.
She's looking pretty badass. Guess what? Fun fact I learned today about this suit. Emperor Palpatine had a yacht that was also chrominium, just like Padme's from the original. From the prequels. Padme's ship was like that chrome kind of plating color, whatever you want to say. Well, apparently Emperor Palpatine had the same kind of ship when he was Chancellor, and they used his ship to make the armor for Phasma, and that is revealed in the ongoing comic for Phasma that is actually in current run of 2. So the second comic is out for this. The first one was her escaping from the trash compactor after the Force Awakens. So it picks up right there. The second one, she's chasing a baddie, trying to pin the wrongdoing on him because she obviously lowered the shield to let the rebels in to destroy Starkiller Base. So continue on with the trailer here. So now we've got Finn in this iconic scene, which should have been in the Force Awakens, and it wasn't. But now we've got him at least going up against her with what looks like a lightsaber, but is not. Did you catch that, Ryan? It's not a lightsaber. A lot of people thought it was.
It's that swingy thing that the one guy had in the one.
Yep, in the Force Awakens when he was like, traitor!
Yep.
It's like a swingy baseball bat, and he's dressed up as clearly some sort of Imperial. So he goes after her.
Could be
Go ahead.
Like a mission of his, sort of.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think that's part of the plot. I think there's another character named Rose. It's Kelly Marie Tran, who was also in my interview in April.
Yes.
And those two go into infiltrate the Imperials somehow. We know that much from just context that they've shown. But then again,
because that's the same room that they were in, or at the beginning of the trailer when Kylo Ren was looking over all the machines.
A production facility.
You guys called them.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the production facility. So it's getting destroyed at this point in the preview.
I think you're right because you see some similar things up here. So that's
you can see them all in the background. Mm-hmm.
Look at this guy though back here, little stormtroopy action.
Yeah.
See, and he looks pretty original. I guess not. He's still a First Order, but he looks pretty original.
He didn't look to his right because he could have taken him out.
Yeah, let's mosey on here.
Well, okay. Just to talk about the elephant in the room here. So Captain Phasma is clearly a well-developed character and whatnot. We just happen to several years prior to this moment in time in the Star Wars universe here, we just happen to have a prominent female role for the main character of Battlefront 2. Wonder if there's any sort of connection. I mean, she's a commando. Captain Phasma clearly is some sort of general and whatnot. I mean, I don't know, but I'd like to point that out because it just kind of hit me. I was like,
I would love for that to be a thing, but Iden Versio is actually been identified because that's who you play has been a Battlefront 2, which is currently in beta, and she's a dark-skinned woman who, by the time this happens, I don't think she's Phasma. I don't think. Yep. Now, if Gwendolyn Christie ever removes the mask and you see this pale white blonde that's 7 feet tall, that's very different from the Iden Versio that they have led us all to believe that is, the character they've actually put out. Because, like I said, they have it all over the Battlefront 2, which I know that some people have been playing, but I like Inferno Squad, which is what the current audiobook is that's out on Audible, which is a good sponsor of ours. But yeah, so we got to keep moving on.
I'm just glad she's from
the
Tarth.
longest 2 minutes of my life.
Nope.
We got a very mopey Luke.
Ice Wolves.
Yep. Well, we got a poopy Luke here who I don't know what this is because it looks like, unless he's lounging in the rain, which I don't think he is, then he's been struck down or been pushed over by somebody, right?
All I can see in this one is that he was a little drunky and one of his buddies dropped him. He was doing that arm over the shoulder move. And they just went whoop, like speed bump. Yeah, that's all I can see.
I agree. All he says is that it's not going to end well. It's not going to end like you think it does. And then we've got Ryan's Ice Wolves outside again of Crate, and this is Crate because it's a Hoth-like planet here that has the red crystal exposed in the back here, and then somewhere over here is Leia just kind of hanging out.
Those Ice Wolves are badass, though. No, literally. But those Ice Wolves are so badass. Like I mean, their ears never flop down at all. They're just spiked up for all eternity. Legit.
Yeah, they're very cool.
I still say
very, very not fun to pet though. They're not a fun pet.
I mean, we don't know. They look friendly enough. I mean, they're on the good guy side. So
you can scratch them behind the ears with an ice pick. Besides
as long as you go with the ice and not against it, you're fine.
Okay.
Not how ice works.
They got fuzzy little feet though. All right. Anyways, all right.
That's fun.
Icy little feet.
So, fun fact about this, man, we're never gonna get through this. Fun fact about this: Rey jumping into the water here in the Star Wars: The Last Jedi pinball game. There is a Jedi X-wing that is underwater. Did that just spoil the shit out of the scene? Is Luke's X-wing underwater at Ahch-To, or was Rey pushed into this water somehow? I don't know yet.
Both. It's got to be. How else did they get off the island?
It's not. Well, they came there by the Millennium Falcon, but it's not a pretty dive. It's a very awkward dive, right? I mean, Lossman, you were going to say something. I'm sorry.
No, my thing was stupid. Every time you keep clicking back to Princess Leia looking out through that weird little like she's kind of peering over something. It just looks like when I put on my turtleneck wrong. That's what I look
well, Donnie, to your question about was she pushed into the water, nobody gets pushed and then continues to dive down. So she was trying to come up.
You don't know how far she was up. What if she was pushed up, uppercutted, and then that's how your face would land as you were going into water?
Yeah, it just doesn't keep going down.
I'm gonna uppercut you into a pool, and we'll see what happens. It doesn't look like she meant to dive that way, right? It just doesn't look like it.
I dive all the time with my hands sprawled out.
Plus, when she comes up, it's very ominous here. He doesn't look very good. He doesn't look pleasant, and she doesn't look like that was on purpose. Now we're looking at 1:52, and Luke is looking at Rey, and Rey is coming out of the water, and there's some ominous red light here, but we don't really know what that is yet. The music is getting very intense, though. So there's our buddy in the same shoulder pad suit that he was fighting Phasma. This is Finn now, walking down clearly in handcuffs and very, very pouty.
I think this is before he fights Phasma.
Oh, definitely. I think everything is still intact here. So this could possibly, this scene in particular at a minute 55 could be what Kylo Ren was looking at, right? It would make sense that it is.
It might be the scene in the beginning you're referring to, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I agree.
The interesting thing,
ATSTs and AT-ATs.
They really did
Walker's
a
over in
great
the
job
corner.
with this. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say they really did a great job with this trailer. Most times that I watch trailers, I turn them off halfway through because they give away too much. But this did not give away anything. This just let them
just like your statement.
What's actually gonna happen?
Yeah, very elusive.
That's what I'm here for. They show a hell of a lot without showing anything. But most previews they give everything away. Like don't give me don't give me an action movie with a girl involved and then show me them kissing together because is somebody peeing? What was that?
Yeah, it sounds like
SYNEK system. SYNEK system.
The SYNEK system sound like it farted and pissed.
Peeing and then it sounded like peeing, farting, and then zipper. Like
If your pee sounds like that, you've got a real problem.
okay, I'm gonna call my doctor real quick.
But yeah, so they show too much. They show the good guy. They show the hero kissing the girl. He gets the girl. Blah blah blah. All in the preview. This gives you nothing.
All right, we got to keep trucking.
Truck along.
So we're back to crate. Just real quickly, there's only a frame there at the 155. What I wanted to slow down for was just to see these guys for what they were. See them up close. You can see the shody. What do you call them? The backpack cannon.
Cannon. Yep.
Backpack gun. So we got the backpack gun. We've got a whole bunch of them here, a slew of them. And then you can again see how little the original ATs were, and they just look so small. These guys look real mean. But you can see that big guy come in there, and the resistance here firing some shit at them, trying to attack. So I love these things. Like whatever these little crafts are, these little guys, they look so shitty. Am I the only one that thinks that?
I actually, I can't, for the life of me, I cannot remember where I saw it or where I heard it. But I did hear something about these weird little vehicles and the fact that they do need to make contact with the ground at all times in order to function. And that's why they're like dragging.
Okay, that makes more sense.
I can't remember the source. I can't remember anything about it, which is really bad right now. But yeah, they were talking about how these things need to be able to maintain contact with the ground, sort of like bumper cars. They need to just be able to touch it.
Yeah.
At all times.
No, we'll remember. So we're at 156 on this, and that's a very interesting perspective. Do you think this is the base that Leia was at right here in the center? It looks concave, a little bit different from. Okay, all right. Let's keep flying through. God, that looks good. There's an ugly motherfucker. It's hard to look at, right?
Yep, a little bit. It's like one of those looking ads or something.
Yeah, like this is your brain on Snoke. Yeah.
Ugh. It's a no Snoke.
I don't.
So
then Ryan,
who do we think Snoke is? That's
we don't know. We're not going to get into that right now. You see this though, right? Same scene.
It's no joke.
But yeah, it's no joke. Ryan, you see this is Snoke back here, right? You see that?
Oh yeah, no, totally. This is
and then you see
strenuous yoga that she's doing.
Right, you see the same guard here, right? Red guard. So then you remember this scene in the very beginning.
Yeah.
So when he picks up his lightsaber, where do you think he's at? He's got to be somewhere near here. So is he now witnessing this going on, right? Like, is he watching?
No, he's not.
Is he towards? I think he's standing. He's having. So here's.
I don't think he's in the room. But go ahead, finish your point. I'll say mine.
So as we're wrapping the trailer up here, my points on this is that they cannot do a complete retread. They cannot do a Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, whatever you want to say. I mean, it will be Empire, but they cannot do the same thing. So in order to change that outcome, right? So the outcome is, well, the heroes do something really bad and they get, they have a turnaround and things come out really good. So the heroes in this story, this second movie here, have to do something, a major fuck up. They have to do something very bad. Is it that they come together and then that's the cliffhanger? I want to leave you with that as we continue on because the next few scenes are very telling on this theory. But
well, if I could,
Alex,
if your theory of Kylo Ren getting into his TIE fighter immediately after and doing the whole
Fly by.
Yeah. So if that happens within the first 10 minutes after the last movie, right, then that scene cannot have occurred later in the movie because he has his helmet back on. I think that is a backstory in the beginning of the trailer here. I think that's telling a backstory when he gets his lightsaber in the beginning of him becoming Kylo Ren, the on the dark side. I think where Rey is right there in that last scene with Snoke, somehow she ends up there, but I don't think Kylo Ren's involved with it whatsoever. At least not at that point. I don't think that's when he gets that lightsaber. I don't think it's at the same time. I think it's a different storyline telling a backstory and then showing what's going to happen to Rey at the same time.
Can I just give you, well, I'm sure you haven't thought about this. Can I give you a 10-second overview of why I think that's exactly what it is?
Do it.
Yeah.
First off, so Rey's getting tortured, right? And you see the same red room with the same red guards. So then you see Kylo Ren here, who is bowing to his master, right? Which is Snoke at the time. And he picks up his saber. Then, all of a sudden, he gets to a point where I'm telling you, because you're saying this cannot be in the same scene. I think it absolutely is. So then he absolutely witnesses what's going on with Snoke and Rey, and he can't handle it anymore. So what he does is he pops into the old elevator shaft there, and because he's so frustrated, he smashes up his helmet. So I'm saying this is the end of the movie when he smashes his helmet and all that kind of stuff, or at least this point. I don't think it's the very end, because the very end has to happen right now. This has to be like at the 80% mark where she's saying, I need someone to show me my place. And he's there without the carbon fiber, right?
All healed up.
Yeah, but that's my point. I don't think he could have been in the room with her if that was the case.
I think he sees it and gets disgusted and realizes that he needs to stop. So I think there's a break. I think he talks to Rey. I don't know how it is. I don't know how it can happen. But...
So then, like what you said earlier, though. So then the smashing of the helmet doesn't happen 10 minutes after the last movie. It happens way into this movie. Is that what you're saying?
I think that he goes to Snoke's chambers at one point, right? And he gets the directive to kill Leia, which is when he gets into the elevator. Decides he can't do it, so he smashes. Then he's in here about to shoot her, can't do that. And then when he sees this happen, Rey getting tortured, he also had to partner up. I don't know.
But what I'm saying, has any Star Wars movie ever done like a backstory telling?
They all do.
Yeah.
No, like within the movie, like did they seep into the mind of somebody and like have them reminisce about the past?
Yeah. They do.
I think that's what. I mean, I could be totally wrong. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, trust me, but I think Kylo Ren is like thinking of when he, first became, on the dark side with Snoke. I think that's what that backstory tells. I don't think he's in the room. Now we are going to find out December 16th.
Yes, we will.
At the same time,
all right.
I don't think that he's in the room.
Okay, so everybody give me their 30-second final thoughts, and let's wrap this up because we're way over at this point.
So
thoughts, theories, whatever you want to lay down for the future, because the movie is like 60 days away, and we already have tickets.
Here's what I want to lay down for the future. You're gonna hate this. What I would like is for you to take exactly what you think would happen in chronological order of this trailer and cut it and then snip it back together and then place it along the lines and see if it makes sense. So, like, think about it. Like, what happens if you did that? If you took that scene where you thought everyone was standing in like perfect, tranquility and whatnot, and then there's some guy looking over it and all that, and you just went down the line. My theory, so they got a lot of cool stuff going on, and then the rebels try and like mess it up, and then he has to go like kill his mom, and that works out, and he does that because kind of, I hate to be that guy, but there's only one way to go with this one, due to current events, and so he does that, and then blah blah blah. They go to like a weird planet with like lava and crystals. And
all right. All right.
I mean, I think going.
No, please don't. I think there's a strong chance that Rey gets frustrated with Luke, and she looks to Kylo, of all people, for some guidance. I think the two of them go up against Snoke. I think maybe she becomes victorious, or Kylo goes to the light side, but some big switch. My end of the day thing is they cannot do a complete rehash of The Empire Strikes Back. So what happened there is that the bad guys, or the good guys try to do something good. They failed. The bad guys have an upper hand. So I think that
Luke does anything to help that situation along? You think Luke gets spooked?
I think Luke's going to be spooked the whole time, but I think his play is going to be minimal and powerful. So I think he'll have a large portion of the beginning. She'll get frustrated and leave him wherever he may be, or there may be a fight that Luke is left behind, and then all of a sudden at the very last minute, Luke and Rey or Luke and Kylo reconnect for some sort of epic 180. That's what I think happens. I don't know what that will look like.
I don't see Luke getting left in the dust of the film that it surrounds. Like, the film surrounds.
And his call was that
everything leads to Luke. Like, his calling is this. I don't think it's Rey's calling. I mean,
yeah.
Although it is The Last Jedi, so maybe
we'll keep my second movie of the trilogy. We have a whole nother movie too. So Luke may not survive. Snoke may not survive. Kylo Ren may not survive. Leia is probably going to survive because they almost guaranteed that. But there's a good chance one of those four will leave. What?
Leia's done.
Nothing.
Leia might. I think Leia survives this movie.
I do not.
They've pretty much said that she doesn't go out, and she has a very strong role in 8. Maybe she's gone. I don't know. Well, let's keep this conversation going next time, guys. Where can the good people find you? This has been first off, thank you, everybody. We have covered a lot tonight, and we had a lot more. We had a couple things. So next week we're going to try and touch on, or at least between now and then, we had a couple things like, is your craft beer really craft? We don't know. Craft beer and the identity crisis that is facing the Great American Beer Festival as it has passed. There's a judge that issued a $2.6 million pay-to-play fine against the Craft Beer Guild, which goes hand in hand with the craft beer. Is it really craft? And we also talked about the Nintendo World Championships 2017, how they crowned their winner. So we will definitely hint on some of that stuff next time. Guys, if you want to contribute to the show, please use the hashtag Brewmasters Club or Brewmasters Club Cast. My name is Donnie. You can find me at the Brewmasters Club. That is at Brewmasters Club on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Rye Guy, where can the people find you?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at BrewedBoy813 as well as Instagram. And then also, if you're in the Bay Area and surrounding areas, come to Kidney Fest 2017. That's going to be held at Marker 48 on November the 4th, and it's in support of Jeannie's Kidney Fund. The event takes place at, like I said, Marker 48 Brewing in Weeki Wachee, November 4th from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tickets are only $25 this year. And all proceeds from this event will help the ongoing medical costs resulting from Jeannie's kidney transplant surgery. I'm actually very honored to have been invited to this event on behalf of Tim from Craft Life. He's invited me out to help him pour, as well as brew a beer, which I'm going to take the Wildfire IPA out there and have a really good time, get to meet awesome people and be part of the event. And then in November, I am doing an event at Crooked Thumb, so be on the lookout for that. We'll talk about more about that on the next time we meet. So, yeah, there you go. At
Jeannie'sKidneyFund.com. The event is Kidney Fest, so that is Jeannie, JeAnnie Kidney, so it's kidneyfund.com. Very good stuff. If you Google Kidney Fest with Marker 48, you will find the event. But again, nonprofit, going to do a really good benefit, or to benefit a really good cause. And Ryan will be there serving his own beer. So thank you so much, man. And again, we'll keep you guys updated with the November event or the other events as we kind of continue on. Mr. Lausman, where can they find you?
You can find me apparently at the the north wall here, just defending the free folk, basically just at the Night's Watch, because I look like that guy. But also, you can find me at Mr. Louseman on Twitter, just sort of hanging about. But probably gonna look like that guy for Halloween. So everyone look forward to that.
Are you at the wall before the White Walkers walked past it, or after? I'm just asking.
Are you trying to
Just
ruin
hanging out
everything
after?
before everybody can watch it on HBO, or after? Because Jeebus, man.
Bro, you've had your chance.
Nope, still doesn't fly.
All right, and as we say at the end of every podcast,
Keep on drinking on.
no, have a good night.
I like keep on drinking on.
Yeah,
I do.
like eggnog.
Are you guys? So you guys like really want to say something that we always say at the end? Keep on drinking on.
No, not
Keep
like
on drinking
eggnog.
dog.
No, keep on drinking on.
No, keep on drinking
I
dog.
like- All right, we're going with that. Goodbye.
You've been listening to the official podcast of the Brewmasters.Club, craft brews and geek news. Grab a beer with the guys and be sure to subscribe to catch additional content. Add this podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. Chat with the guys on Twitter at Brewmasters.Club and Facebook and online at www.brewmasters.club. Cheers!